Welcome to Convertabot Reviews. I'm your host, Convertabot, and the star of the show today is the Good Smile Company Figma 245 Lucina. This character is from the Fire Emblem Awakening video game for the Nintendo 3DS and is one of the main characters in the game. Lucina is arguably one of my favorite characters, and I will say right off the bat, this figure does her justice. It looks exactly like she appeared in the game and on the box art too, as you can see. First and foremost, let's take a quick look at the box. It is a pretty small box. By all means, it's nice, blue, it's got some product shots. What more could you want? Overall, does the job and shows off the figure. I'd like to take a quick moment to mention that this is an official Nintendo product, if anyone's wondering. Lucina here does come with a fair amount of accessories, mainly being the stand, a few adapters, plethora of hands, and her sword, Falchion, which is also available as its own little sheath version. I'll show you here in a second. As for the hands, you do get a nice little beige rack here that can store all of them on pegs. And for the hands themselves, you get everything from closed hands, grabby hands, open hands, relaxed hands. If anything, it's weird because you only get 9 of them. I wish it was an even number, an even pair. Moving on to her sword, Falchion, you get 2 versions of the sword, one being just the hilt, and the other being the full blade. The hilt is painted with nice gold and like maroon, burgundy looking for the hilt, and it just tabs right into the scabbard on Lucina herself. Looks really nice once it's all put together, and she can, with her alternate hands, can look like she's holding it. Now for the full blade itself, same color scheme and painting as before, but this time it has the actual blade painted in a nice silver, which, yeah, this looks like it's pulled directly out of the game. And yes, of course, Lucina can hold the sword. Just take a grabby hand and plug it right in. So I recommend you try and get as much grip on it as possible. It doesn't have the best fit. Case in point. No worries though, just plug it back in and choke up on the hilt as much as possible, and it can hold itself fairly well. Though just be mindful, it is not the best fit. It does come equipped with one extra accessory, and that is a full extra head, which just pops right off of her neck. Good lord, that can look horrifying. Her bangs, the face, and the back of the head with the majority of the hair are all separate parts, and it's just one long tab each, and it just pops right off. There's enough parts for 2 heads each, but each of these can be mixed and matched. You have a long hair and short hair version, a smiling and stern-ish angry face, and then you also have her bangs, and then a bang with her mask from the game molded into it. And like I said, all these can be mixed and matched. Personally, I prefer the long hair and smiling face. It just screams her character more to me. Now, for her posability, she does have a ball joint at the head, which is also on a weird dumbbell peg thing, where it allows to give the neck a lot more articulation than it normally has. In fact, you'll see these joints a lot on the figure itself, where it looks like it's a hinge joint connected with 2 pegs. Allows the parts to swivel as well as move up and down all around. It almost simulates a ball joint, which I do like, and does get a nice range of mobility out of them. Her gait, meanwhile, is on 2 ball joints. It's basically just hard plastic separated. She has a bend at the elbow, and it can move all the way around. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Fortunately, these armor bits are on peg, and they just plug right back in. As mentioned, the limbs and the hand both have that same peg and hinge joint combo, which does get the same amount of articulation as everything else. It does do a good job considering the size of the figure itself. Her cuffs on her outfit do swivel with the actual hand itself. Looks like that entire connection is, well, hardened together. And to change hands, it simply just pull them off. So be very careful, very thin plastic, and I am fearful of it breaking. So far though, I've had this figure for a year, no issues. And to replace the hand, simply take whichever one you want. Of course, left goes with left, right goes with right. and you still get the same articulation out of it, regardless. She does have a couple of dumbbell joints in her torso that allow for an ab crunch and an arcing back. Legs can move up that far and back that far. She has a bend at the knee and a swivel at the thigh. Her feet are also on the same little hinge joint with peg combo as before, and this allows for a great range of motion, including a beautiful ankle pivot. I wish some Transformer figures could do that. It'd be really nice. Of course, a fully posable figure needs a full split, spread, whatever you want to call it. Posability overall is pretty dang good. I will say this though, you do need her stand if you want anything dynamic. You can stand up on her own, but to do any cooler poses than just standing straight up, you're going to need the stand for it. Moving on to size comparisons, here she is next to Studio Series Bumblebee, Takara Masterpiece 53 Plus Crosscut, who is right around the same size as her, a little taller. And then moving on, we have the Magic Square Light of Peace, which is easily twice her size. Overall, I think this figure is really dang good. If anything, the fact that it's so small and fragile just means you have to be very careful with it. But other than that, there's plenty of posing options, plenty of accessories, nothing too crazy. Price-wise, it is a little expensive, but this figure nowadays is not readily available, so you will need to explore other sites like eBay for it. Besides, if she's your favorite character like me, then price is usually not an option. I mean, I'm not necessarily like I'm obsessed or anything. I've known this character since I was like 18, so what can I say? I mean, I've played a lot of video games and she just stood out, like popped up in Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers, that sort of thing. And I mean, it's like a comfort thing, I'm not obsessed. It just, I just like her. Okay, benefit of the doubt, maybe a little too much, but it's nothing wrong. Uh, what are you looking at? Now, Lucina, dear, honey, I can explain. I can explain. Thank you for watching. I need a break. Here's to hoping my next review doesn't hurt as much.